This foundation is so pretty. I can't wear it every day, but oh my gosh. Today we are talking about the new foundation from Gucci, the Éternité de Beauté 24-hour full coverage foundation with a luminous matte finish. A what? I don't get how something can be both luminous and matte. Thank you, Gucci. The highlights of this are it's got hyaluronic acid, what doesn't, a matte finish, full coverage, long wearing. Apparently, it also has a rose oil in it, which does make it hydrating, and it's got some bamboo powder in it, which keeps it matte. So maybe the luminous is not so much in its shininess, but rather in its hydrating ability. I don't know, it's confusing. This foundation is available at Sephora and Nordstrom. It costs $69 for 1 fluid ounce, that's 30 mils. It comes in a beautiful frosted glass bottle. I'm gonna say though, that even though, okay, the plastic that the top is really high quality, the color, it's kind of got this yellowish tint to it, and that just seems really cheap to me. But nonetheless, it's not cheap. It's very high quality. It's thick. It snaps on, which is good for travel, and it's got a pump. Day one for me is always no primer and fingers. Let's just see what this foundation has on its own. I am 54 years old. My skin is dehydrated. I have a little redness. Pores are pretty minimal. My skin runs normal. I can get dry patches in the winter. I don't typically wear a full coverage foundation. Full coverage foundations, I think, have a place in our wardrobes. I like it for special occasions or when I just want to look really nice. I will say this foundation went on very nicely with fingers. It has a very luxury feel to the fingertips. There's a little bit of a scent, but that dissipates quite quickly. It is really good coverage. It easily covered my redness. And here on day one, I'm using the Wayne Goss Weightless Powder for setting. I'm not using any finishing powder nor setting spray. This is an 8-hour check-in, and of course today was kind of worst case scenario for the foundation. No primer, apply with fingers. I didn't use setting spray. I didn't use finishing powder. I did use setting powder though, and it was the Wayne Goss, the Weightless Powder. I will say, okay, when I'm in my bathroom, just at a good, 2.5 feet away from the mirror, this foundation still looks good. I feel like I'm still getting good coverage out of it. Maybe it's a little less than optimal up here in my forehead, which I don't know why that would be, but when I consult the dreaded 10X, yes, it has settled into the wrinkle that, let's be honest, everything settles into that wrinkle. But the thing that I didn't like was up around my eyes, how it has settled into wrinkles, accentuated. They're like wear lines, like you smile and you get the wrinkle and then you stop smiling and it's not there. So I feel like it is accentuating those under eye folds close in. So not thrilled about that. I am optimistic about how this foundation will perform tomorrow with some primer and some finishing spray, setting spray, powder, all the things. Day two. All right, so today we are using primer and we're going to use a brush to apply the foundation. The recommendations are for applying it either with fingers or brush. Today I'm using the Laura Geller Spackle Hydrating Primer and the BK Beauty 101 Foundation Brush. Today I'm going to be using cream makeup to see how it plays with that. I'll be using Fenty Match Sticks for contouring, Winky Lux, the Rose Blush for a cream blush, House Labs for setting powder, Tarte Double Duty Stay Spray Setting Spray and It Bye Bye Pores Loose Finishing Powder. It took less than one full pump to do the application, and I really like the even application that I'm getting with the brush. Back in the closet, which means this is what it looks like under indoor lighting. In this case, it is some bright LED bulbs. Yes, a very sunny day here in the suburbs of Seattle. I will move my hand and close my eyes so you can see what this looks like under very bright natural light. And just to share the love, yes, what a gorgeous day. Well, I meant to check in an hour ago, so this is actually a 9-hour check-in on this foundation. And looking in the dreaded 10X, the story is not good. I have been looking at this foundation throughout the day, and it's beautiful. But 9 hours in, it is broken up on my chin. Everything settles into that line, including with the primer today. It's in my 11s today. The kind of creasing and wrinkling under the eye isn't as bad. My initial thoughts are, this is an amazing foundation for 4 or 5 hours. I'm gonna try it again tomorrow with some different products, different primer, different setting spray, but I'm not going to be surprised if this ends up being one of those special occasion foundations. You only need it to look good for 4 or 5 hours. This could definitely be your go-to. I will say, and tomorrow I will, maybe I'll do a check-in at 4 hours if I can tomorrow, just so you can see what that looks like. But it really does look fabulous midday. The way it broke up yesterday really bothered me. Today I'm going to try the NYX Hydro Primer. I'm going to go back to the Wayne Goss powder. And for setting spray, I'm going to use the ColourPop setting spray and It Bye Bye Pores compressed setting powder for finishing. Although it's not recommended, today I'm using a damp beauty blender for application. It seems to be going on really well. We're going to have to see how it wears. I will say this is a very pigmented foundation. Normally my foundations come off at night with my first cleanse, which is Clinique's Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm, but this absolutely requires a second cleanse to get it all off. Phew, okay, I took my mom to her doctor's appointment. I have 10 minutes now to shoot this before I need to take off for my podiatrist appointment. And this is the 4-hour check-in I was so anxious to do. And you know what? It's not doing any favors to this foundation. Now, today I used the Beauty Blender. That was not something they recommended. So, again, you know, when I stand at a normal distance, I think it looks beautiful. It's just the 10X that's doing us in. So let's give it the benefit of the doubt, say it was the Beauty Blender. And while I don't know if I will shoot a full 4th day because we've seen how this foundation is performing, I have a couple of days. I'm gonna wear it a few more days, try some different stuff. If I have a decent 4-hour check-in with the brush application, because I really did, that's my favorite application so far of this foundation, I will definitely film that for you. As I promised, I have been wearing this foundation for a couple more days. I've primarily been using the Bobbi Brown, the Vitamin Moisturizing Primer, and it works really well with that. I used a number 7 loose powder for setting one day just to try a drugstore powder. It really doesn't seem to care what setting powder I'm using. It seems to be setting spray agnostic. I've used Urban Decay setting spray, MAC Fix-It. It doesn't seem to care. On the days when I've been wearing it, I have been making sure to look at it at the 4 and 5 hour mark, and it is such a pretty foundation. I feel like it does a lot for me that the La Mer foundation did, although the La Mer foundation broke me out and this did not break me out. So it is it's just a gorgeous foundation. It says 24-hour wear. First of all, I would not test that. I'd take my makeup off. I don't think there are many of us who need a 24-hour foundation. It's heavily pigmented. It is a little pickier, I feel like, in terms of primer when you want to get or need to get 8 or 9 hours out of it. And I think the more moisturizing the primer, the better. Also, applying it with a brush. I think that is the key for this foundation. With fingers, I feel like it goes on too patchy, too much. You don't have nearly as much control as you do with the brush. It shines when you can apply it with a brush. So if you're looking for a full coverage foundation, I think this is a really good candidate. $69, so definitely luxury, but not as stupid expensive as the La Mer. If you are sensitive to scent, it kind of depends on how sensitive you are. Like I said, there's a slight scent when you apply it, but as soon as the foundation dries, the scent goes away. I really liked this foundation. I think I'm gonna end up saving it for date night, special occasions. I don't really see it as my daily foundation. But, you know, I could also see wearing something else for a week or two and going, gosh, I really miss that Gucci foundation. Here is a video on another foundation I absolutely loved. And if you're really in the mood for a lot of foundation information, here's my entire playlist.